everybody, welcome back. It's Mob Vlog. Adam Flowers here. It is July 20th, and it's Redness Day. Today, we're talking about the Las Vegas Skim. How did it happen? Who was involved? We're even going to talk about how they did it, why they did it, the second stream of Skim that came in. So, let's hit it, guys. Mob Vlog. Red, Wemette, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Well, fantastic. It's hot. Hot in Las Vegas. Too hot. Damn.
It looks like we have a full house today.
Yeah, it looks like we do. It looks like we're going to have a good show today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some clips of Frank Cullotta talking about some of the Skim. Him meeting
it's hot there?
What's that?
You think it's hot there? Douglas Shriver says, hi, guys. Heat index is 117 in Marion, Illinois.
Wow. 117 in Marion. Damn. It's hot everywhere. I was hearing that it's hot overseas, too, even. Like in England. And they're saying it's like crazy hot over there. So, yeah.
Keith likes my shirt. Thank you, Keith.
Well, it's good to see all of you guys. Welcome into the room, everybody. Tommy Bridges, Dan Vojnovich. I don't think I've ever saw that name before, but welcome in, man. It's good to have you with. Keith Helton, Vlad Steele, Scott H. It's good. Trace is here. Bobby Bag of Donuts, Michael Graham, Golf Boy, William Kirchmayer, Dave Valinska. Hey, guys, hello to everybody. Let's jump into this though. Let's get going with the Skim, Red. I wanna get into this. I think everybody else does too.
I think we need to.
Yeah, I mean, and this is probably going to carry over into the after party. I mean, this is quite the discussion.
We're going to have to carry it over. There's too much.
It's quite the discussion, and I'm sure that all the listeners are going to have something to say about this. So, yeah. So. Hi, everybody. We are in, and let's start. I just said it. We have a little bit of footage of Frank Cullotta, and he's talking about. We have some footage of Gary Jenkins as well, because obviously, right? They talked about
the Skim.
Talked about the Skim, and that was one of the main reasons that we interviewed Gary. So I want to play some of the footage. Frank met the bagman. Now, the bagman who carried the money from from Vegas to Chicago was Phil Ponto, was his name.
He remembered the real bagman, not the one that played the part in the movie.
Right. Well, and that brings me to the thumbnail, right, which you guys clicked on. That's Bill Nance, the actor, who's handing the briefcase to me. Or Bill Allison. What did I say, Bill Nance? Bill Allison. So anyway, he's handing me he's the actor.
He played the Mormon.
Right.
The only Mormon in Casino, the movie.
Right. That's right. So, well, no, isn't Harry Reid Mormon?
Yes, he is. They didn't say that in the movie.
See?
They didn't say that in the movie. All they said was that Mormon.
No, but he was. I'm just saying he was, right?
You're right.
Anyway, so the guy who John Nance, that's the guy who ran the Skim. He knew there wasn't much you could do about it. Kate Chavez. Yes. So you got to know the guy who helps the guy you steal from.
Yeah.
Even if you take care of him, well, I mean, he's going to steal a little bit extra for himself. You guys get these lines memorized.
Yeah.
So, did you see the interview that Soft White Belly did with Frank? Yes, it's a very good interview. You guys should check it out.
Yes.
So, I wanna jump into this though, and I have a couple of queued up videos that we're going to show. So, what do you say, Red? Do you want to watch a little bit of this?
Let's do it.
You want to do this? All right. So let's pull these up. The first one, which is going to be.
I don't really remember exactly what they say.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Red. What?
I don't remember exactly what they say.
You know, I went back and watched these last night when I was prepping for the show, and I had a minute. It took me a minute to remember, but all of it came back as I watched it. So let's watch this first clip. Now, this is Frank. Listen closely to this. This is Frank talking about him meeting the bagman and the bagman, who he was. So it's an interesting story. And, you know, you believe it, Red, it's been almost 2 years. It's been almost 2 years now that Frank's been gone. And I'm telling you, I watched some of the old videos and I go, wow, I didn't remember those exact
Every time you go on the tour, you see him.
I am so thankful that we're able to document some of this, that what we got, because it's well, it is. Here we go. Let's put this up there. And this was from Cullotta part 30. And we'll have a little listen here. So let me just turn down this background a little bit here and look at the video starting. Okay, listen up.
I talk a little bit about the Skim. I'm almost sure I never talked about the Skim because I wasn't really involved in it, but I knew what was going on at the very end. But I didn't actually deal with the money per se, you know. And here's how I found out about it. I used to go to the Stardust, and I used to sell stuff that was taken on burglaries to the bosses in there. Beautiful watches, diamond rings, things that I knew that weren't traceable, so they could get busted. And they were from out of town, so the people were going to leave and they never see that jewelry again. So I used to sell it to these bosses in there, and they were glad to buy it. Instead of selling and making 25%, you know, of whatever the thing was worth, I could get half the money. So one day I'm standing by the cage. As a matter of fact, Joey DeFranco was standing there with me. And he leaves, Joey. He's going to play dice. So I'm continuing standing there. And I'm looking around at the money cage, where you turn in your chips or get chips. And I noticed this older guy. And I said, shit, I know that guy. He don't work in here. Back of the table. And a guard's with him. And he's got one of them things you push. And they pull the boxes out of the tables. You remember people give you $100 and they drop it in the chute. They give you chips. Well, they pull these boxes out and then they put them on this push cart. And this guy's with the guard. And he's pulling them out for them. And I said, what a nice job. It's pretty nice. It's not done on me. Nothing's done on me. So when the guy's walking to the cage, he's got to walk by me. And I'm not even thinking about this, but I glance up and he's looking at me. And he goes, I said, stay here, don't go anywhere. Oh, and then I realized who this guy is. And I said, holy Christ, he's got a good job. So he goes in the count room. And I noticed that the guard doesn't go in the count room, remains standing on the front of the door. In about, I don't know, however long it was, maybe a half hour, he comes back out of the count room. And the guard goes where he's going to go with the push cart. The guy's carrying nothing. And he walks up to me. He says, you remember me? And I said, yeah. I said, what the fuck? How'd you get a job? Or you're 80 years old. And he said, you know, I said, I'm married to Jack's sister, Jack Cerrone. And I go, oh. He says, you know, I'm the only guy that could go in that fucking room. I said, no, I didn't know. He said, you didn't know that? I said, no. He said, that's how I get the money out of her. I said, listen, I want you to do us both a favor. He said, what is it? I said, don't tell anybody you told me that, please. And I promise I won't tell anybody you told me that. Because we won't be around to talk about it. I don't care who your brother is, father-in-law, sister-in-law, whatever. I says, it'll be all over, okay? Oh, okay. He says, but I figured being that you're one of the guys, you would know. I says, so even if I did know, you should never tell people that stuff. I said, and that was it. So he was married to Jack Cerrone's sister, Jerry. And as it went on, I used to see him in there all the time. We'd acknowledge each other, hello, you know, stuff like that. But It was best not to sit there and talk to him in front of any money cage. I tried. I shouldn't have even been in there that long. So that's how I found out, and that's why you seen in the movie when the guard's standing there, and I said, the hat can't even go on the counter room. That's me telling Marty what happened. And I never said nothing to Tony, nor did I say anything to anybody else. I left it alone. But now I had the knowledge.
Oh, so what do you think about that, Red?
I think it's great. It's history.
So everybody, I just wanted to real quickly interrupt the broadcast because we got a special caller that just called in, and I got to tell you this: he doesn't joke a little. How you doing today, Joe?
Good, Adam. How you doing, buddy? Hello, Red. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing, buddy?
It's Frankie's brother Joey, everybody. Oh, you get a lot of comments in the side. So here's what
Perscribers, I want to ask you a question. I was kicking this around with my family. We were going through some of my brother's stuff. You know, as you know, he died. It'll be 2 years in August. We found an old transcript of his appeal, the original copy of his appeal from 1968, when him and two of his partners, Mike Switek and Vince Muscatello, were convicted of an armed robbery in Boone County. At the time of the robbery, my brother was getting a ticket in Oak Park, Illinois. Now that's about 75 or 80 miles east of there. And he was getting a ticket 5 minutes before that. So he feels he was framed. Anyhow, I got the original document and the original court, what do they call them girls that do the stenographer? I don't know if they're stenographer. The original transcript of it on the paper and the typewriter, when they don't even use typewriters no more, but this is all original. I'd like to have an auction on it. We'd like to start the bidding at $500. I think it's going to be worth a lot more someday if and when, which we know for sure is going to happen, his life story goes public. So we're just kicking it around $500, auction it off. How do you think, Adam?
So here's my question to all the viewers. Is there anybody, if there's anybody, because if we did an auction, I think that would be fun to do an auction and set up a day and promote it for a month and then actually have an auction, a live auction on here. That would be fun. But I don't know if 500 is too high or not. So if there's anybody, if you're watching it live or if you're watching this after it airs, put in the comments that you would be willing to pay that much. And we'll see if we get any responses. And if we do, hey, let's do it. If not, maybe put in the comments what your best offer would be if you wouldn't be willing to put
OBO,
right?
OBO.
You know, or OBO. What is that? What do you think of that, Joe? Let's just see
or
what
best offer.
Yeah.
It's
the original document. The papers even turn yellow. It's like 54. How old would that be? 54 years old at, and it's got the whole appeal, everything that was what their grounds were for their appeal and everything. Like I say, they feel they were framed because they had just beaten a case for hijacking like 6 months before. So they feel that, I don't know if I should say this or not, but they feel like the FBI framed them. And I was sitting in the courtroom when the judge gave them 15 years. And I remember the G-man coming up to me, grabbing me by my cheek and telling me, if you keep your nose clean, you'll never have to worry about anything like this happening to you. It's a true story.
Wow.
But I've got the transcript, and it's on the original paper, done with a typewriter. It's got all the everything that was said during the appeal.
Joe, I remember when I read about it in the papers.
John Cogan, who filed the appeal.
But
this is the original copy.
I think it would be pretty. I think it'd be pretty interesting to do it. So you know, let's see what the viewers put up, and we'll see. Look at the comments and see what people say. How are you doing otherwise, Joe?
Doing good. I got 2 more procedures to go through, and I'll be good as new.
All right.
This getting old is rough, I'll tell you, buddy.
Hey,
here's the question.
It does.
Getting old isn't for wusses, that's for sure.
That's for damn sure, pal.
That's what Frank used to say to me, man. Getting
Joe
old is
Dusty 64 says, "Hi, Joe."
Everybody's saying hello.
Frank's signature on it.
Everybody's saying hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. And tell a friend to prescribe. This is a great channel. It's about a real man, a man's man. Okay?
Awesome. Thanks for coming on today, Joe.
All right, my pleasure.
All right,
Good to hear you.
Yes,
Adam and Red, nice to talk to you guys.
Hey, you too, Joe.
All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was a cool surprise. That's a cool surprise.
It was.
Okay, so let's talk about that clip now that Frank said. So Jack Cerrone's
brother-in-law. Right.
Interesting. Well, I know there was more than one mule that was taking the money back to Chicago.
There was
also Joseph Tallarico. He was like a backup guy. So That's right. So that's it. By the way, guys, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Be sure to do that. It's that time. Really, hit the like button.
I think the most interesting part, Adam, is that they skimmed well over 600 million, but they only got tried for 2 million on the skim. So a lot of money got out of there.
Yeah. Ryan Brown said his dad always tells him, Ryan, getting old isn't for wimps. No, it isn't. I'm sorry, you start falling apart, and that's that, you know. Like, oh. Anyway, hey guys. By the way, we got that wheel of a deal that we're gonna spin, and somebody's gonna win a prize. We got a trivia question. But one of the things you can get on it is a photo. It's a photo, and it's autographed over here. Yeah, by Red and by me. And if you guys want one of those, you want to support the channel, go to mobmento.com and click on all the products. Take a look, and it's on the website. You guys can get one, and we'll personalize it too. So it's pretty.
That way, YouTube doesn't get 40% of your money. They don't get 50%.
That's true too. You're really supporting the channel. Yeah, that's true. You're supporting the channel, and there's the picture. So it's pretty cool. By the way, you could actually just pick one up if you come here to Vegas and see me. All you have to do is come here and see me. If you want to know how to see me, use the promo code MOBVLOG. Join us for the Vegas Mob Tour. Experience cities of the past. Learn how Bugsy Siegel built the flamingo. Find out who killed him. Why? Hear who Jimmy Hoffa supplied money back in the 50s. Visit the actual home used in the 1995 blockbuster Casino. And other filming locations as well. See the real jewelry store where Frank Cullotta was busted. Sit in the exact spot where Frank Lefty Rosenthal's car was found back in 82. If you never before seen Frank Cullotta personal stories about Tony Spilotro, Joey the Clown Lombardo.
This house is It's almost like a peach color. It was brown then. The only thing changed is the driveway.
Let us make an offer you can't refuse. Upgrade to our Untouchables experience. Following the tour, you'll enjoy Italian dinner, Tuscany Garden, and then VIP seating to the award-winning Rat Pack Show. Enjoy Vegas. It's the way it was meant to be. So let's talk about Lefty's involvement with the Skim. Let's talk about that. Frank talked about it a little bit some time ago. So let's take a look.
Technically, Lefty was in charge of the Skim. It went to him first. He got his cut.
Okay, let's watch this clip, and then let's talk a little bit more.
But that money used to leave that account room, as I said in most of my videos and tours. it would go to Lefty's house. And Lefty would get that money, and he'd take a little out because he was overseeing the scam, supposedly. Actually, he really wasn't, but, he knew what was going on. And he cut Tony in on some of it. Well, they had to. I don't know how much. Who knows? Could be $100, could have been 100,000. I don't know. Whatever it was, they got money. And then the money would go to somebody else, and then it'd go to Kansas City, and then from Kansas City to Chicago. All right, and that's when the money used to get broke down. Like I said, Kansas City would get 25% of whatever the skim was. And the reason why they got 25%, because they overseed it. They had their own guys working at the casino. And in other words, they were protecting Chicago's interests. Chicago was very sharp. They used everybody all the time. So they kept themselves out of the picture. So Kansas City, for that 25%, put themselves in the limelight. The only way Chicago screwed up was by having Lefty in there. All right? Otherwise, they would have always thought it was Kansas City. Even with Ellen Glick as the casino owner, or whatever you want to call him. And that's the story there. I mean, there's more in depth I could go into it, but you'll have to check on tours on that one.
How about your, let's talk about your wedding present from the Stardust.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's about far enough with that. So there was a second stream of Skim, however, and Frank said that the money moved from Vegas to Kansas City. But Red, he said that Lefty wasn't really in charge of it.
No, he wasn't left. Tony was. Tony was in charge of that.
Okay.
After it went to Lefty, it went to Tony. He got his cut, whatever it was, and then he sent it on to someplace else.
But what did he mean by the Kansas City being the frontmen, putting themselves in the limelight?
Well, as the story goes, they didn't want to go to Las Vegas. It was too hot to go there, the bosses. Okay. Now, I will say one thing. Diane Hansen said they used to meet up. What is that mount where the mountain is? She met up in the cold
Mount
area.
Charleston. Mount Charleston.
Right. They met up there in the beginning. They used to meet up there. But they moved to Kansas City.
They did, right? The money moves. So first, quickly, 7542 Ben. I don't know if the document is signed or not by Frank. Good question. If Joe's listening, maybe you could chime in the comments. There's a couple other comments here. Don Ciccio, Di Porzala, where the hell is the 600 million? Just amazing, right?
A lot of it's in the Italian American Club in La Pietra. Built the Italian American Club in Chicago, in Bridgeport, on Shields Avenue.
Yeah, and
marble, everything. I mean, that place. I don't know what they spent on it. I really don't. But he used to say it came from the Las Vegas Skim.
Wow. So, Bobby Bag of Donuts, your photo's on its way. It's going out tomorrow. So I had to make pizzas. I've been busy making pizzas and doing tours, pizza boxes. So 600 mil would be a great stake to start and run a top fuel drag operation. Might even win one or two.
Yeah.
Didn't some lady deliver the Skim points to Kansas City or New York? That I was not aware of.
I'm not aware of anything like that.
I've never heard anything about that. Not that it didn't happen, but I've never heard anything about that.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to...
I'm queuing up the next clip here because when we talked to Gary about the Skim, he explained you remember in the movie Casino, they started getting all the names because of the wiretap that's inside it was a store, right? It was a store, a corner store in the movie. And that's where Scorsese's mom's in that scene. And the guy, he's swearing and she's like, stop it with the swearing and all that. And then they start picking up. That really wasn't in a store. That didn't happen in a store. Nick Pileggi, I guess, went down there to Kansas City. And he went down there and did his research. But I guess. Well, let's listen to what Gary says about this. Okay, this is pretty interesting stuff. So here, let's put Gary on. Welcome back to the show, Gary. Okay.
Talking about this in the back table at this little pizza place called the Villa Capri. So his underboss and his brother particularly were known. A couple of informants the FBI had. They weren't mine. I didn't have anybody who was close enough to them. I had these guys that were way kind of on the periphery. But they had informants that were close enough that saying that these guys are having these conversations at this table talking about killing the Spiros possibly. So they get enough probable cause, they can put a microphone at that table. You know, and how you, real quick thumbnail, a lot of people think you just go in and throw one in. Well, I didn't like that, you know, for a year probably or more. We'd been driving by that place, logging license numbers and saying, you know, every Friday and Saturday night, Tuffy DeLuna, Carl Savella's there. And then we'd go in once in a while, have a beer and some pizza, and they'd be sitting back at this same table. Got a bunch of observations like that. We even had the dog watch district sergeant would drive by because that was like 2:00 in the morning. We didn't want to stay out that late a lot, and he'd drive by. He used to be an intelligence guy, and he'd drive by and get license numbers and say they're there all the time, and have been for years. And then the informant comes in and he says, "Yeah, we meet at that table in the back, and you got probable cause for a microphone, T3 as they call it." They put in the microphone, and you know, the movie Casino, they showed this little microphone up in that vent at a little corner store. Well, that wasn't where it was. I mean, Nicholas Pileggi, to his credit, he spent about a week here in Kansas City talking to different people. And this one FBI agent, Bill Owsley, who was a case agent on the Skim, had taken a lot of stuff home. He had a lot of stuff home, and so he got it all out. And Pileggi, you know, really did his research, but somehow that wasn't sexy enough for him. I don't know why they wanted to put it in the corner store, but they did. But that's what they started hearing. That one label was a June night, as Bill Owsley says, you know, we were sick of hearing Staying Alive music because that was popular at the time, and kind of disco and that subculture and the young Italian dude subculture, that Staying Alive and that disco kind of culture was hot for them, and these guys were too old for that. They were more back in the big band era. But a lot of the other people that came there, and they played Staying Alive a lot. But finally, they heard them say things like $25 million. We got a piece of that. I don't know about this guy. What about this Lefty? What about Lefty? You know, you remember when when Lefty cashed the check, and Joe was there for Jay Brown over at the Stardust, and so, you know, those kinds of tips, and then Teamsters, that word came in there. You couldn't really tell exactly what they were talking about. But the last thing Tuffy said that one night was, I got to get to a phone. Well, there was a payphone about 6 feet from where they were sitting. At least somewhere in that building, there was a payphone, and he didn't want that payphone. He didn't want that phone. So then we had to get on him to find out, okay, where's this payphone? Boy, this was kind of the FBI was just starting to form a full-time surveillance squad, which they have now in every major city. We didn't have that back then, but they had us because we were really, the intelligence guys are really well versed in surveillance, working together with the radios and even we'd coordinate with the helicopter. They had.
Yo. I guess we're changing something up here, or there may have been a phone call, and that's where Adam stopped it. So obviously he had a call. Bobby Bag of Donuts. Yes, I remember Steve Dahl. He was funny. I liked him. John McShane, welcome to the Red Show. No, Red Show's on after this. The after party is on my channel. There's a link below, so you can tune in later.
Sorry about that, Red. Didn't mean to leave you hanging there for a second, buddy.
No, I'm talking to the guys on their questions here.
Just had a total mouse malfunction, so yeah. Sorry about that. So let's talk about that. The wiretap was in that little restaurant, Villa Caprice.
Right.
And that's where they actually...
Villa Capri.
Sorry, Villa Capri. Did I say Caprice? Like the car?
Yeah. Yeah.
Caprice.
Like the car, like the Chevy Caprice.
Yes. So we tagged a couple of comments here. I want to read them. So what were the percentages of the skim between the different mob cities?
I wasn't there to count it.
No idea. No clue, right? Keith Elton, Adam, do you have the clip of Lefty denying Glick being threatened at Sevilla's meeting with a spotlight? No.
Nobody has that.
No. Don't have that. Whatever happened to all the mob run casinos? Sorry, Red?
That happened in closed session at the court. They didn't allow cameras in the courtroom.
Got it. There was that there's that clip of Lefty being denied his gaming license by the Harry Reid and the gaming commission, right? That clip exists. He's wearing, I believe, a yellow suit.
Right, and it was really Harry Reid in that clip, but Tommy Smothers played that part in the movie?
Yeah, no, it was the other Smother.
Dick Smothers.
It was Dick Smothers, yeah. Whatever happened to all the mob run casinos after the skim was over, and how did it get busted? So well, let me answer part of that, and then Red, if you want to answer the other part. So what happened to the mob run casinos? I'll answer that. As far as the Chicago outfit run casinos, there were 4 of them. There was the Stardust, there was the Fremont. The Fremont's the only one that's still, I shouldn't say, hold on. The Fremont is standing downtown on Fremont Street. The Stardust is the site of Resort World. That was the main hub, Stardust. Then there was the Hacienda. That's the site of Mandalay Bay now. And finally, the Marina is still standing. It's hiding in plain sight out on Las Vegas Boulevard. It was right where the MGM is. The new MGM, not the original, Bally's. I'm talking the new MGM, the Emerald City. One tower of that used to be the Marina Hotel. And when MGM bought it, they didn't implode it. They simply took the glass off of it and they worked it into the architecture and they re-glassed it with green glass. So if you ever go to the MGM and you can put in a rink-a-dink room, you're inside the Marina. No, it's cool trivia. It really is. As far as how was it busted, Red?
How was it busted?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing came down.
Oh, IRS came in. They had warrants and they put tickets around our crime scene, around the cage and everything else. They told everybody they were fired. They confiscated all the money, and the IRS took over the casinos. They appointed trustees, and from that point on, the mob had no control.
Right. Scott H says that it was probably Scorsese that changed it. They didn't have a Gary Jenkins on the set like they had a Frank Cullotta. You know,
got it. You got it.
I'm sure Pileggi did his research, and and you know what, Marty said. You know what? I think a little grocery, an Italian grocery store, would be a good. Who knows? That's the kind of for a movie. What's going to make a nice
Hollywood? That's Hollywood, guys.
What's going to make a nice shot? Let's just change the story a little bit. It's fine. The mother in the corner store that was actually Martin Scorsese's actual mother. So maybe he made it in a corner store to give the mother a more realistic reason for his mother to be in the scene. A good
part.
Yeah. I mean, what would be the reason?
What was she doing sitting around a table with a bunch of guys?
Villa Capri, right? I don't know. I mean, yeah. Riviera was connected to Sean. So correct, Bobby. There was a lot of different casinos, even the Tropicana, which the Tropicana, again, that was Kansas City. So
correct.
Kansas City. So let's hear about the streams of Skim, and then we'll take a few more questions, and then we got to spin the wheel of a deal that you can't refuse. And we got a trivia question. Red and I had to sit and think of the trivia question today. So what do you think it's going to be, Red? Oh, we got a good one for you. I'm sure
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Somebody's got to get it. Somebody's got to get it. Okay, so let's listen to Gary talk about the streams of the Skim and how they came in from from the two different casinos. And because I jumped out, I have to reshare my screen. So give me just a half a second here. And okay, let's go and start her. Got it. And that, yep, we're up. Okay, here we go.
But I've got to. There was 2 streams of skim coming to Kansas City. One was from the Stardust. The other was from the Tropicana.
Okay. Who was sending it from the Tropicana?
This guy named Joe Agosto, who was the mole. He was a Sicilian that had stayed on the down low the whole time he'd been in the United States. He'd caught one case up in Alaska for some kind of fraud, but nobody knew him. He was a relative of an Italian guy, a Sicilian guy here in Kansas City. And that's how Nick got into it. And Nick somehow got introduced to him, and he got a job at the Tropicana, and he wormed his way. He was a real con man. And he wormed his way in with the management, the owners of the Tropicana so well, they made him the director of the Folies Bergère. And all he was just a scammer, a hustler. You know, he wasn't an artist, a dancer, or anything like that. He was just a hustler, but he got his way in with them. And so he's talking with Nick Sabella and how he really turned these owners and let him hire a guy named Carl Thomas, who was an experienced skimmer from other casinos, started out at Circus, skimming for Alan Dorfman, who's good friend of Alan Dorfman. So he hired Carl Thomas to come in there and be the kind of top clean executive who then had control, brought his people in to run the count room. And they set up the skim out of the Tropicana and sent that straight back to Nick Sabella. And one reason he got so much power over these owners who were just square johns, they were real estate entrepreneurs mainly. And one woman was kind of a wealthy heiress who just liked to dabble around in casinos. Mitzi Stopper Briggs was her name. The others were real estate investors, and other guys just seemed to have a lot of money from something. And so they wanted a loan. They wanted a Teamsters loan, and Nick Sabella made sure they didn't get it. Then Joe goes to him and says, you know, you want a Teamsters loan? I've got some connections. I might be able to help you with that. So they want Joe to be happy. And Joe then puts in the skim in place, and they pretend like they don't know, because they think they're going to get this huge big Teamsters loan, and it never really come to fruition. So they're set up as like $40,000 a month from the Tropicana. Not all that much in the big scheme of things. And there was probably $100,000 to $150,000 a month coming out of the Stardust and those other casinos that Lefty had a control of, the Hacienda, the Fremont, and I can't remember the Marina. But it's steady $40,000 a month coming to Kansas City out of the Tropicana alone. And so they, on the wiretaps, they're talking a lot about the Stardust because Lefty is creating so much trouble. See, Lefty has set up this scam over there, and then somebody else is like getting it and taking it back to Chicago. So that scam's going to Chicago. Chicago has to divvy it up with Milwaukee, Cleveland, and Kansas City, because Chicago, Cleveland, Kansas City, Milwaukee all conspired to influence the Central States Teamsters Pension Fund to make this loan for Alan Glick to buy the Stardust.
Pretty wild stuff.
Very wild stuff. But also willing to note here, it's a good note to make, is that the skims from the other casinos, like the Fremont, the Hacienda, all those other ones, they were taken to the Stardust. Those skims were taken there. That was the central point to get rid of it out of Las Vegas.
Yeah. It's amazing he used his real name on that sign. The mob doesn't like that exposure. Well, but again, here's something else that you, Scott H., that maybe didn't mention. But so there was the Gaming Commission has in place out here in Vegas that you cannot work in a casino. You cannot have anything to do in a casino, job-wise, owning a store, nothing, if you have ties to organized crime.
Or if you're a convicted felon.
But there's a loophole. They put in there unless you're an entertainer. That was the reason that, from my understanding anyway, that they did that so Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, these guys could work in the casinos, because had connections.
Because they had associations with mobsters.
That's all they associated with, right? But they were entertainers, but they need the entertainers in the casino. So how do you get around that? So that's my understanding of it anyways. Hit the like button. My mom said so. Royal Jenner, you stayed at the MGM in one of those little rinky-dink rooms, huh? Yeah, you were in the Marina. That's it's neat trivia, but yeah, that's what it is. So
hi, Mrs. Flowers, or Miss Flowers, Adam's mother. How you doing? I listened to you. How you doing?
The Desert Inn was a big piece of that place was involved too. Yes, it's almost every one of them. There was influence. I mean, the Thunderbird Hotel, which later was the Sahara, I believe was the spot. But I think the Lansky had some influence there. There was a lot coming from different places. Detroit had its digs in one of them, which was at the
we just talked about this.
I know. I just forgot too. Anyway, it was all over the place. It really was.
The Sands. Detroit had the Sands.
Sands. Okay, so was it Sands? So the mob owned a lot of clubs that singers, comedians worked at. They had to work with the mobsters, of course. That's how it worked. So if Harry Reid was on the mob's payroll, why didn't he give Lefty the gaming license? My understanding is that it's probably was higher up than Harry Reid that was denying it.
Somebody else told him to do that.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, and
he was just chairman of the board there at the racing board. He was chairman of the committee. That's all. They got to him. It was an open shut case. They voted on it before they even opened the meeting. He said, I have a motion here. They didn't even let him present his evidence. So it was fixed.
It was. You guys got to stop asking my mom questions like this in the side comments. Tell us about Adam is something embarrassing. What's the matter, Bill? Come on.
Yeah. Get rid of it.
Come on. Really? Come on.
Play nice, guys.
Oh, so did airlines service the North Vegas airport back then? I don't know when the North Vegas airport was built, Sean. Honest to God. I know McCarran was the first one. So that's
which is not McCarran anymore. It's now the Harry Reid Airport.
McCarran's a bad man. Bad man. Change the name. Oh, let's build a statue of Tony Spilotro in town, by the way. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't.
No.
You really couldn't make it all up. You just, my God. So it was.
Hey, you gonna spin the wheel?
What?
Spin the wheel.
What were
you the wheel of the deal. Well, actually, we have to ask the question first.
Well, yeah, we do have to ask a question. We got to have a winner. We got to actually call in and win something, right? So, so was the money just from gambling that was skimmed, or was the entertainment, food, laundry skimmed as well? Yeah,
no, just entertainment, just gambling.
It was the gambling money that they were able to go, hey, this is, the slot machines.
I was told 80% of it came out of the slot machines.
Man, that had to be it. Are you guys ready for the trivia question? We're going to do the trivia question.
I'm ready.
We're going to spin this here wheel. Somebody's going to win a prize. Another happy person today. And
Keith?
And then I'm going to have to go make more of these pizza
Keith's
boxes.
Asking, what question? We ask a trivia question. It's from last week's podcast.
Yes.
What you had to listen in last week.
So you had to listen to last week's podcast, which was about Marilyn Monroe and about Tony Spilotro and did Tony kill Marilyn? And that's what it is.
And there's a question in there. If you have the answer to it,
you'd have to listen to the podcast, to the whole episode to catch this, because it's in there. It's in there.
If you didn't listen to it, you won't get it.
Somebody's going to remember this. I'm 100%. Somebody who watched last week is going to remember this. So, to answer the question, you have to be able to call into the show. You have to be able to.
You got to get your prize. You got to call in. And then Adam will give you a code, and you'll put the code in the comments, to verify that your name is you, and that's it. Then you spin the wheel.
Then you spin the wheel. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, William Kirchmeier. Let's do it. Okay. So here we go, guys. The question of the day today, for the day, from last week. And it is.
We talked about Marilyn Monroe.
We did talk about Marilyn Monroe. And we talked that Marilyn Monroe came to town back in the 40s. We also said that she slept with Benjamin Siegel. We also said that she was picked up on a horse by Roy Rogers. And we also said that
she got married to a young man when she was 16.
Yep, we said that too. And here's the question. We also said she had to go to the hospital when she first got to town. What for?
What did she go to the hospital for? She had to go to the hospital. She had a problem. We don't know. All
right. Let's let the comments go. They got the question. No more. There we go. We got a winner. We definitely have. Well, we got a winner. There's a winner. So let's double check. I want to make sure we don't have anybody else. Abortion. Wow, that's a good one.
This guy's the first one.
Larry A614 STD for Trenchmouth. Golf Boy got it.
Yeah, but this is the first one.
Trenchmouth.
Go up. This is the first one.
I'm going up. I was all the way at the bottom of the thing. I'm going up. What question? No. They rigged the scales. No. Go down. First Trenchmouth I see is Hans Gruber. You got anybody before that? Bugsy Siegel's the answer. No. That was at 250, 251, 251. Nope. Trenchmouth. Golf Boy was number 2. Hans Gruber's number 1. Hans Gruber is number 1.
Golf Boy's in here first.
Golf Boy is under Hans Gruber. PM. Hans Gruber's two steps above him. He got in there first.
You're right. Hans Gruber, you got it.
Hans Gruber, yeah. Hans Gruber's our winner. All right, Hans Gruber, you get to call in. The number's on the bottom of the screen. Call the number on the bottom of the screen. It is also in the comments here. I'm typing it in case you don't see the bottom of your screen. But call in, and then we're going to verify you, and then we'll spin the wheel of a deal you can't refuse it. Are you guys having... Oh, here we go. Okay, hold on.
Meanwhile, while he's talking to Hans, and see if Hans wants to talk to you folks or be on the air. We will find out. Incidentally, folks, I guessed it right off when Adam asked me. Hans Gruber just put in 1010. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Hey, Red.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got Chad on the line. That's Hans Gruber. So, Chad, where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
A
cheesehead. We love
a cheddarhead. A Packers fan?
Yeah, I live right on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois, about an hour and a half from Chicago.
Okay, awesome. What do you do up there?
You mean for work?
Yeah.
I work in the medical industry.
Okay, cool.
That's great.
That's awesome. Okay, so you ready? How long you been watching the show?
I was a prescriber in the early, probably when it was less than 3,000 prescribers.
Wow, you've been watching a long time.
Yeah, and I want to say that it was really sad when Frank died, but I really liked how you continued the channel on, and I've continued watching. And I want to say that, Red, I watch your channel too. I really like it, and I bought your book, and it's really good.
Thank you. Thank you very much, buddy.
That's awesome.
No problem.
All right, here we go, Chad. We're going to spin the wheel of a deal you can't refuse. Now, remember, we don't want to land on Lake Mead barrel ride. Lake Mead barrel ride. No Lake Mead barrel ride. Okay.
Bring your own barrel.
You ever come to Vegas?
Yeah, I've been out there a few times.
You've been out there a few times. So a couple of free mob tour tickets would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a book. Maybe you got Red's book though, you said, right?
Yeah, but I mean, any of the prizes except for that being in apparel, I'll take.
All right, here we go. We're gonna spin it. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And you won a picture. You won an autographed picture of Red and I. Cool.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna send it to you. I can call you back at this number, right? That you called me from. Yeah. Call you back right after the show, Chad.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye, Red.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye, Chad.
Okay, Red. So
hold up the picture.
Oh, you want a picture? You want an autographed picture? Autographed picture. It's cool. Red personalized this one to me. He said, "Adam to my buddy in Vegas, Red Wemette." So yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're all autographed. We're going to go over to Red's place, and we're going to do a show over there, an after party. We're going to continue this talk about the Skim and other things I'm sure will come up, right, Red?
Oh, definitely. Something always comes up.
It always does. I'll see you over there in a few minutes. Hey, guys, it has been fun, and I've had a good time, and all good things, they got to come to an end at some point, and that's what time it is today. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. It's always nice. So thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you all for stopping by. You're our show.
Yeah, come to the after party. It's in the link, the description. See you over there, guys.